There is a kind of loneliness that has nothing to do with being alone. You can be in a room full of people, surrounded by conversation and laughter, and still feel completely isolated. Not because no one is there, but because no one understands. This is the loneliness of the intelligent mind. The loneliness of seeing patterns others miss, of thinking thoughts others do not think, of caring about things others do not care about. And if you are watching this video right now, you know exactly what I am talking about. You have felt it. That strange disconnect between you and everyone else. That exhausting feeling of simplifying yourself just to fit in. That constant question, why does everything feel so surface level? You are not broken. You are not weird. You are not alone in feeling alone. You are just smart. And smart people feel lonely for reasons most people never understand. My name is Eternal Echoes, and for the next 15 minutes, I am going to explain exactly why intelligent people struggle with loneliness. Not to make you feel worse, but to help you understand. And then, I am going to share the Stoic solution. Because 2,000 years ago, Marcus Aurelius, one of the smartest men who ever lived, felt exactly what you feel. And he discovered how to transform that loneliness into something powerful. Let us begin. Reason 1. You see things others do not see. Intelligent people do not just observe the world. They analyze it. They see patterns, connections, implications. While most people see a conversation, you see subtext. While most people see a decision, you see consequences 10 steps ahead. While most people see the surface, you see the system underneath. And this is exhausting, because you cannot turn it off. You cannot just have a casual conversation without noticing the contradictions. You cannot just enjoy a movie without analyzing the plot holes. You cannot just accept things at face value because your mind automatically questions everything. And when you try to share what you see, people look at you like you are overthinking, like you are being negative, like you are ruining the vibe. So you learn to stay quiet. You learn to keep your thoughts to yourself. And that silence, that constant self-censoring, creates a wall between you and everyone else. Marcus Aurelius understood this deeply. He was the emperor of Rome, surrounded by thousands of people every day. But he wrote in his private journal how much time he gains, who does not look to see what his neighbor says or does or thinks, but only at what he does himself. He knew that intelligent people spend so much energy trying to connect with others that they exhaust themselves. And sometimes, the loneliest place is in the middle of a crowd. Reason 2. Most conversations feel shallow. Here is something intelligent people rarely admit. Most conversations are boring. Not because the people are boring, but because the topics are surface level. Weather, gossip, small talk, complaints about traffic. And you really try to care. But your mind is screaming for depth, for ideas, for meaning, for something real. You want to talk about why people do what they do, about philosophy, about purpose, about the nature of existence. But if you bring that up at a party, people think you are weird. So you smile, you nod, you fake interest. And inside, you feel more alone than if you were by yourself. Seneca wrote about this. He said, if you wish to be loved, love. But he also said, avoid the crowd. Avoid even small groups. Avoid one-on-one encounters if the conversation is shallow. Not because people are bad, but because shallow connection is worse than no connection. It tricks you into thinking you are not alone, when really, you are just surrounded by noise. Reason 3. You think too much about everything. Intelligent people do not just think, they overthink. You replay conversations in your head. You analyze every interaction. You wonder if you said the wrong thing, if they misunderstood you, if you came across as too intense. And while everyone else has moved on, you are still processing, still trying to understand what happened, still wondering why you feel so different. This is called rumination. And it is one of the most isolating habits of the intelligent mind. Because while you are stuck in your head, life is happening around you. People are connecting, laughing, moving forward. And you are frozen, analyzing, questioning, doubting. Epictetus taught something powerful about this. He said, "We have 2 ears and 1 mouth so that we can listen twice as much as we speak." But he also taught, "Do not waste your time on thoughts that do not serve you." Most of your overthinking is not insight. It is anxiety disguised as intelligence. And the cure is not to think less. It is to think better, to direct your mind toward what you can control, and let go of what you cannot. Reason 4. Your standards are too high. Intelligent people do not just want connection. They want meaningful connection. They want someone who gets it, someone who thinks deeply, someone who sees the world the way they do. And those people are rare, so you wait. You keep your circle small. You reject surface-level friendships, and you end up alone, not because no one wants to connect with you, but because you have decided most people are not worth your time. And here is the brutal truth. You are not wrong. Most people will not understand you. Most conversations will be shallow. Most relationships will disappoint you. But if you keep waiting for the perfect connection, you will wait forever. Marcus Aurelius knew this. He was surrounded by senators, soldiers, and politicians. Most of them were not his intellectual equals, but he did not isolate himself. He engaged, not because they understood him, but because connection, even imperfect connection, is better than isolation. He wrote, "The cucumber is bitter, put it down. There are brambles in the path, walk around them." In other words, accept people as they are. Do not expect everyone to be like you. And find value in the connection you can have, not the connection you wish you had. Reason 5. You care about things others do not care about. When everyone is talking about the latest celebrity drama, you are thinking about the meaning of existence. When everyone is scrolling through social media, you are reading philosophy. When everyone is chasing material success, you are questioning whether any of it matters. And this makes you feel like an alien. Like you are from a different planet. Like you speak a different language. Because you do. Your priorities are different. Your values are different. Your definition of success is different. And society does not reward depth. It rewards performance. It rewards loud voices and quick opinions and surface-level confidence. So you feel out of place, like you do not belong. And that feeling, that constant sense of being misunderstood, is one of the deepest forms of loneliness. But here is what the Stoics understood. You are not supposed to fit in. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Live as if you were living already for the second time, and as if you had acted the first time as wrongly as you are about to act now." In other words, stop trying to be like everyone else. Stop trying to care about things you do not care about. Stop apologizing for being different, because your difference is not a flaw. It is your strength. Reason 6. You spend too much time in your own head. Intelligent people live in their minds. They think. They analyze. They create entire worlds inside their heads. And sometimes, that inner world is more interesting than the outer world. So you retreat. You spend more time alone. You read. You write. You think. And slowly, the gap between you and other people grows. Not because you hate people, but because being alone is easier. It is safer. It is less exhausting than trying to translate your thoughts into words others will understand. But here is the trap. The more time you spend alone, the harder it becomes to connect. You lose practice. You forget how to small talk. You become hypersensitive to social interaction. And what started as a preference becomes a prison. Epictetus warned about this. He said, if you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid. In other words, you have to risk being misunderstood. You have to show up, even when it is uncomfortable, even when you feel out of place, because isolation is comfortable, but it is not freedom. Reason 7. You have been hurt before. Here is something no one talks about. Intelligent people remember everything. Every betrayal, every rejection, every time someone made them feel like they were too much or not enough. And those memories build walls. You tell yourself you are fine alone, that you do not need anyone, that people are disappointing anyway. But deep down, you are just protecting yourself, because being vulnerable is terrifying when you have been hurt. And being intelligent makes it worse, because you can rationalize your isolation. You can convince yourself it is a choice, when really, it is a defense mechanism. Marcus Aurelius lost his father at 3. He lost most of his children. He lost his wife. He was betrayed by people he trusted. And yet, he wrote, the best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury. He did not let pain make him bitter. He did not let betrayal make him cold. He stayed open, not because it was easy, but because closing off is worse. So here is the Stoic solution. How do you handle loneliness when you are too smart for your own good? You do not try to dumb yourself down. You do not force yourself to care about things you do not care about. You do not pretend to be someone you are not. Instead, you do this. 1. Accept that loneliness is part of the intelligent experience. You are not broken for feeling this way. This is normal. Smart people feel lonely because they see more, think more, and care more. And that is not a flaw. It is a feature. Stop fighting it. Stop wishing you were different. Accept it, and move forward. 2. Find your people even if it takes time. They exist. People who think like you, who see the world like you, who care about depth. They are rare, but they are out there. And one meaningful connection is worth 1,000 shallow ones. Join communities, read forums, engage with ideas. Your people are looking for you too. 3. Practice being present, not perfect. You do not need every conversation to be deep. You do not need every interaction to be meaningful. Sometimes, small talk is just a bridge to real talk. Sometimes, surface-level connection is practice for deeper connection. Stop expecting perfection from every interaction, and just show up. 4. Use your intelligence to build, not isolate. Your mind is a gift. Use it to create, to write, to teach, to help. Channel your thoughts into something that serves others. Because loneliness fades when you stop focusing on yourself and start contributing. 5. Remember that even geniuses need people. Marcus Aurelius ruled an empire. Seneca was one of the richest men in Rome. Epictetus was a former slave who became a legendary teacher. All of them were brilliant, and all of them emphasized the importance of community. Because no one, no matter how smart, is meant to do life alone. So here is my final message to you. If you feel lonely because you are intelligent, I see you. If you feel misunderstood, I understand. If you feel like you do not belong, you belong here. Because this is a community of people who think deeply, feel deeply, and care deeply. And we are not going to apologize for that. Subscribe to Eternal Echoes if you want weekly reminders that being different is not a weakness. It is your power. And comment below. Tell me honestly, do you feel lonely because you were smart? You are not alone in feeling alone. And that is the truth the Stoics understood. Connection is not about finding people who are just like you. It is about accepting yourself enough that being different does not hurt anymore. And when you reach that place, loneliness transforms into solitude. And solitude is not loneliness. It is peace.